Imagine the world and your life in 10 years. Personally, I hope to be working in a place like San Francisco or Boston, or maybe traveling the world, visiting places like Hawaii or Fiji. But none of this will be able to happen if all of these places are underwater. The effects of climate change are already becoming clear. Natural disasters like floods, droughts, and wildfires are becoming more common and more severe. Since the early 1980s, the number of days with extreme fire weather conditions has more than doubled in California, while seasonal rainfall has dropped by about 30%, and the average temperature has increased by 2 degrees Fahrenheit. While this may not seem like a lot, in terms of temperature, it is. For example, for each degree that the ocean warms, the sea level rises by a little more than 4 feet. That is crazy. This rising has been causing problems for entire ecosystems and more than 3 billion people living along coastlines. In 2019, in the US, 28% of carbon emissions were from transportation systems like cars, boats, planes, and trains, things that all run on gas. That's why we believe that biofuel is the future. However, the current methods of biofuel production are very expensive and they use up land that could be used for growing crops. However, these issues can be solved by focusing on the production of genetically modified algal biofuel. Algexx's main goal will be to replace all gas in the transportation industry with biofuel. We will be using tubular photobioreactors as the model for our boxes. In these bioreactors, algae will react with nutrients to absorb carbon dioxide in order to produce more lipids within their cells. These lipids will then be extracted to produce biofuel. We will insert these tubular photobioreactors into clear boxes. These clear boxes will have multiple layers for solar absorption and oil refinement. Now, you're probably wondering, how is Algexx any different from existing biofuel companies? Well, Algexx will genetically modify the algae to both grow faster and produce more oil. Current algae bioreactors are just not economically viable. But by genetically modifying the algae, we can produce more yield with better efficiency. First, we will start by using single-celled green algae called C-Reinhardt tea. This will be genetically modified to have the main enzyme called DGAT2 that is present in Brassica cannabis. Like farmers, we will essentially be combining these two crops, as Brassica cannabis is a rapeseed plant that has very oil-rich seeds. Through genetic modification techniques, the enzyme will be present in the endoplasmic reticulum of the cell and will increase the concentration of triglycerides. By increasing the amount of oil produced per acre of algae, the production of biofuel becomes much more economically viable.
We will also use prolines to enhance the growth of the algae by genetically engineering the algae to overexpress glutamine synthetase, which is an enzyme already present in the algae cells. And by increasing the concentration of this enzyme, we increase the concentration of 2-hydroxyoxyproline, which is a metabolite that impacts growth rate. So basically, by enhancing the concentration of the proline, we make the algae grow faster, which is super cool and which helps our production costs. And as genetic modification techniques continue to improve over time, we can expand our progress and improve our techniques to eukaryotic algae species and other species such as plankton. Our improved production rate will allow us to lower our costs, which makes us competitive with petrol. And selling the oil will be our main source of revenue. We also will sell boxed bioreactors to carbon-producing factories, and the factories will receive subsidies from the government while we produce the biofuel for them to sell. Then, we will locate areas of high carbon emissions, such as the factories or offices or other areas in cities. And once we locate these areas, we will filter the air at a large scale by implementing our boxes on the roofs to filter the flue gas. And Algexx is different because our oil will be produced on open farms and refined on site. And algae is super unique because algae, unlike other biofuels that take land away from crops, can be grown in deserts or otherwise unusable land, so it won't be competing for space. In 10 years, our goal is to have all transportation running on biofuel. Our biofuel will be distributed to more locations globally, and we will have global farmlands. Algexx will also be leading global efforts to combat climate change. At Algexx, we value passion, optimism, and authenticity. We always want every idea to be heard and value looking at every detail in the larger picture. We are looking for people and investors who want to help solve the pressing issue of climate change. To end, visit our website, algexx.com, to learn more about our company and to read more about Algexx, creating a world entirely run on biofuel. Thank you.